Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing well. It's quite a cloudy, gloomy day today. It's a bit frustrating because we've had 2 weeks of absolutely glorious, beautiful warm weather, and then today it's like, nope. We're actually going to be having a bit of a dull, wet week, and yeah, Friday is Good Friday, so it will be the long Easter bank holiday weekend, and of course it's going to be absolutely pissing it down with rain, so yay. If a British bank holiday doesn't have rain, there's something wrong, so it's the norm for us, but there we go. I've been busy with work as usual. Not much to update life wise, but yeah, just cracking on through and everything, enjoying my new broadband and all that lot. It's absolutely brilliant, and yeah, I'm just living and getting through my days and all that jazz. But yeah, since you last saw me, I have read Legally Blonde by Amanda Brown, which I am here to talk about. So Legally Blonde, I had to look up Amanda because I didn't know anything about her whatsoever, and just to clarify, I looked her up after finishing the book because I didn't want anything to possibly impact on my reading experience, as it were. And Amanda wrote 3 books between 2001 and 2007, Legally Blonde being her first book, and the film of it came out that same year. I don't know then how the negotiations went to do with the development of the film, because you would have thought that they'd want to have the book, there'd be a bit of time and everything with the book and see how the audiences respond and such before the film came out. But I don't know the timeline specifically of how many months gap or whatever there was between the book and the film. So she wrote 3 books between 2001 and 2007, and Legally Blonde, the film, then became a musical. I love the film and the musical, and because I just happened to rewatch the film, I was like, you know what, Legally Blonde is a book that I've never actually read, so I bought it and now I'm reading it. Oh, well, should I say, I have read it. I'm just thinking my timeline of everything. That's why I said I am reading, when I have actually read it now, just to confirm. So yeah, I went into this book with the film and the musical because I adore both of those being the thing that drove me to the book. And I have to say, this is one of the rare occasions where the film and musical are far superior than the book. Not to put Amanda down or anything, it's just the story, the structuring, everything is just on point in the film and the musical and not on point in the book. But let me explain what this book is about first of all, in case you're not aware. So, Legally Blonde follows Elle Woods, who's pictured right here, and her little Chihuahua dog. She is very, as you can tell, fashionista, blonde. She's in a sorority. She has a certain air to her that some people really respond to and some people really don't. And she is dating her boyfriend, who she's been with for quite some time, and we enter her world, as it were, with the beginning of the book with her preparing for a date with him. Warner, sorry, I should say his name. I didn't say his name. With Warner, and she thinks that he is going to propose, but sadly he decides to dump her at that at that date instead, because he is going to Stanford Law School and he needs someone who's serious. And she's just like, what? Her world just completely is destroyed. So she decides to apply to law school and get in order to follow him, to show that she is serious as well. And it's about her getting into law school and her time there. Now, Amanda, I discovered in my research, actually did study at Stanford Law School. She didn't get her degree, but she studied there. And to be honest, I think you can feel that in the book, because the very specific law related stuff, I don't know a load of stuff about the law because I never studied it, so I don't know specific, terms and such, or what the atmosphere is like in a class at one of at a law school, or one of the many law schools there are around the world, and especially not at Stanford because I've never been there. So that atmosphere, that understanding and such that she has in the book, that she conveys, I think Amanda did very, very well. And so that's what, she has, from her experience. But for the actual story and such, things go downward very rapidly. Now, in the film, Elle is very much... her first thing of going to Stanford Law was, I need to show that I'm serious and everything, and he's going to come back to me and we're going to get married and everything's going to be wonderful. But then in the film, when she quickly realizes that that's not the case, she goes on this mission to prove that just because she's blonde and such, and she wears pink all the time, and she's very fashionista, that she can be smart and such at the same time. And she has this really, forceful mission in her head to do that, to prove that. But sadly, the Elle Woods in the book is very much completely centered on Warner. She skips classes. She doesn't pay attention. It's like, how have you not been thrown out? Very, very early on. And that question does get asked, and as I said, in the film, because she has this realization not that far into attending law school, that she goes, right, I'm going to prove to you that I deserve being loved and such, and I deserve your focus. And so she's on this like power mission, and I absolutely love that. But the Elle Woods of the book doesn't really care about that. Now, there is also another thing that really, really bugs me, is that there is a certain character in this book called Sarah. She is in the film, but she has a completely different name. So I don't want to reveal who she is in the film because spoilers and such. Should you wish you want to read this book, or if you want to watch the film, and I don't want to, spoil too much. But yeah, at the beginning, she, in the book, just as in the film, she's quite bitchy and such to Elle because she's so different. But what I love about that character in the film and such, and in the musical, is that she stands by her guns. She stands by her morals. She stands by what she looks like, what she believes in, stuff, and that gives her this sense of power and such. And when she and Elle get to know each other, they realize that they're polar opposites, but that doesn't mean that they need to change in order to attract a man and such. Okay, you could argue that Elle is changing because she goes to law school and everything, but she doesn't change herself. She doesn't change like the color of her hair or what she wears or anything like that. She's still her down to her core. And this character of Sarah, in the very final couple of pages, transforms herself into Elle. And I was like, why? I know, very flattering. She wanted to make herself look like Elle in order to, feel that she could go forward and everything with her life. But it's like, no, the whole point of this story is to be who you are, and that you have far more potential than what your exterior shell, if that's what you want to refer to it as, conveys. So why did you have Sarah change? That really bugged me. I don't know why Amanda did that, because Sarah didn't need to change. She just needed to find that inner strength that she learned from Elle to be who she is and not be afraid of it. And yeah, so that left a bad taste in my mouth that happened right at the very end. Now, structure-wise, as I said, yeah, I think because of Elle, the way that she is and her attitude, you either love her or you hate her. And I really came to hate her in the book. I didn't, she was just so frustrating. I just wanted her to just have this moment, this click moment of realizing like she's worth so much more and she doesn't. And it's just like, God, it's just so frustrating. Now, the structure of this, it's so fast. It's like da, 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 da. But the thing also, I hate to say it, it's really clear that this is a first book. The characterization is off. Amanda writes sentences rather simply. And what I mean by that is that she constantly does things like, Elle entered the room, Elle walked this way, Elle said this, Elle said that, and it's like, you don't need all of that. You just focus on the moments and such, and then that's where it'll shine. And the bits that do shine are the bits that Amanda has that experience in with the Stanford Law School sessions and such, the classes. Those chapters stood out to me because I could tell that she was influenced by her experience. But yeah, there were other bits where I'm just like, what is going on here? Why are you writing stuff like that? And if I just, like randomly choose something, let's just say, hang on, that's right. That was right at the breakup moment. I'm like, no, I better not read that. So Josette had accommodated yet another last-minute appointment, and Elle strode in to meet Christopher Miles, confident, rosy, and polished the tips of her fingers. Ingenue, the Italian-suited defence attorney, said to her, grinning as he sat behind a formica table in the lounge and watched Elle's legs cross under the narrow pink skirt. So that's not too bad. But then it's kind of like it's saying things that just really put me off. Like, say, she scolded, indeed. Elle, he explained, still smiling, I see a lot of resumes, never a pink one. Stands out, she said. He nodded. There's just certain things that just, I just felt like, what are you doing? And sometimes she just runs at like 20 miles an hour. So, when she returned early from her visit home and promised Elle she had a significant news that she must relay in person, though Elle was impatient to tell Eugenia more about Christopher Miles on the phone, she accepted her friend's congratulations and agreed to meet her on Stanford's main campus with Underdog in tow. Sometimes it just felt like this is a lot. This is a lot that you're doing here. Like, Elle's first day was a disaster. When she arrived at criminal law, the first class on her pre-printed schedule, Elle realised she forgot to bring her name card. Each seat had a special desktop slot that was designed for the display of these large cardboard cards, which enable professors to humiliate you by name. Elle was alone in the anonymity. All her fellow students were impeccably labelled. Elle groaned as Sarah walked into the room and sat down behind a card which read Nottingham S. It just like she's either going very, very fast or she's just like splitting out and it just irked me. And I know possibly some of those that I just read weren't great examples, but I just randomly just flipped through and found them. It just felt off. If she had just allows some spaces to just relax and allow that time to show, I think that would have been much better. But yeah, the characterizations, the lessons learned, the actual story itself, it just feels off and wrong and awkward and clunky. I mean, not to put Amanda down because, she published a book. Yay, well done. And, this has gone on to be this really great film and musical and such that I absolutely adore. But I think the screenwriters for the film polished up all of the issues that the book had. Really put emphasis on you don't have to change who you are to be who you are going to be, and about the courage that it takes to do something new. I love the fact that in the film as well we have additional characters who, if you've read the book, you know what I mean. A certain love interest that comes into the mix. I fucking love him in the film. I think he's great. But yeah, he doesn't exist in the book, and there are certain elements to do with the court case that Elle gets involved with, which in the book bugged the hell out of me. And in the film, they really, really figured it out and got it perfect. So, for example, the whole outcome of the court case, the trial and everything, happens just as a complete fluke in the book. It's a complete fluke. Whereas in the film, she is present, she is asking questions, she's doing so many things in that scene that it just feels like, oh, Amanda kind of went, oh, I'm just going to drop this in and just let it there. As in, because she asked that one question, that makes up for all the bad stuff that she did in the book. And it doesn't make up for it at all. It's her knowledge of her personal experience which makes her realize there is a question that needs to be asked, so she asks that question. And that's the key thing, that Elle never compromised herself, her integrity or anything in order to win the case. Whereas book Elle, I feel like she just got lucky, and that's how that turned out. So yeah, the book is incredibly frustrating. The characterization isn't great. The ending was just blah. The pace of it is pretty poor, and I'm sure there's lots of people like me who got the book because of the film and then discovered that it's not that great. I mean, I adore the film. As I said, the second one is not good. I'd avoid the second one, but the first one, I love that film. Reading his book doesn't put a damper on that film for me at all. It actually raises it up higher because it cleaned up so much stuff that was wrong with the book. And I love the musical. I absolutely adore it. So yeah, I would definitely give massive thumbs up, highly recommend the film, the first film, and the musical, but I wouldn't the book. It just felt wrong. So those are my thoughts on Legally Blonde by Amanda Brown. So time for my usual questions. Would I read this again? Nope, not interested. I read it, I enjoyed it. It was just blah, which is such a shame given the film is so good. Would I recommend this to anyone? No, I'd recommend the film or the musical if they're interested in Legally Blonde. Would I read any more Amanda's work? Nope, not fussed. Really not fussed about it. I don't rate her as a writer. That then, because I always say I'll give people a second chance if I hadn't again. I suppose that means, yeah, that I would, but right now my gut is saying, no, I'm not going to get along with the rest of her books and her writing. It just, yeah. Like, law school put a stranglehold on Elle's social life that Jesse Ventura would have envied. Feeling as if she had no life to speak of or about, she decided that she should get out more at night and read the Angels' outlines during the day. She picked up the cordless phone and called Margot. With finals approaching, her classmates had become the typhoid Marys of stress and she needed a break. She had pored over the outlines of her secret angel and had picked up Emmanuel outlines on the tip. Still, she was nervous. She needed to talk to someone outside of the law world. It just, even though that conveys that Elle is going through a lot and that she needs someone, I don't feel that from Elle. That's the thing. I never connected with this character. It just did not work for me. But there we go. So those are my thoughts on Legally Blonde. Have you read this book? I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, time to yell at your side. And I'll back to you my thoughts on my next read, which I'm so excited for. So excited. And with the long weekend, that means I can really focus on it. It's The Armour of Light by Ken Follett, the most recent Kingsbridge book, which I have waited like a year and a half to be able to read this. At last. And just to clarify, that is a year and a half since I bought the paperback, so it's been a while. Because I'm one of these people that, because of series, they all have to be in the same format, and then I got it last August, and then yeah, it's just I haven't gotten around to it because of my various picks and everything. But yeah, I'm finally getting The Armour of Light, and funnily enough, with my Audible listens, that you know, my to be listened to list, I am now hitting this series. So just to clarify, I had the first 2 audiobooks on CD read by Richard E. Grant. I then got the third one, A Column of Light, on Audible. And then I realised, oh no, I'm going to have to flick back and forth between the two. I'm going to get the first 2 on Audible as well. I did listen to A Column of Light. So that's 3. The first 3, I'd listened to the third one on Audible, but not the first 2. And then, of course, the prequel came out, which I read, but I never got around to the audiobook, which I got on Audible. And now you've got this one. And I haven't got it on Audible yet, but a credit of mine came through a couple of days ago. So I'm basically going to use my new credit for this audiobook, and then I'm just going to listen through all of the Kingsbridge series off Audible starting tomorrow. So yay, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But yes, I'll be back to my thoughts on The Armour of Light as soon as I'm done. I'm hoping, as I said, because of the long bank holiday weekend and such, that I should be done with it pretty quick. And then, of course, I need to announce what my next reads are. But what will they be? Come back next time and find out. All right then, everyone. Bye.